Good morning from a rather misty and cold Ennis. Left my house this morning at around 7. It's now 20 past 8. Charging up, I arrived here with about 12% left. Had just gone into the alarm range. Reason I'm in Ennis is because myself and my wife, are on our way to Redcastle in County Donegal. Should be a total journey of about 500 kilometres, and this is our first stop. What are the plans for the route? I think after this we're going to be driving to a 22 kilowatt charger in Tuam. Hopefully, if I get there. Gort will be your backup. Ballindine, charger near Sligo, Donegal, and then Letterkenny. And yeah. So at the moment, I need a cup of tea. Now, hello from Ballindine, County Mayo. We've done about 210 kilometres so far. This is my second proper stop. I've done a small, I think it was about 5-6 minute top up in a town called Tuam. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. Tuam. Anyway, when I got to the charger, it was funny because the actual sat-nav wanted to route me somewhere completely different. Just because the charger is located in a parking lot. So they have the exact GPS coordinates of the charger, except that the charger is not actually on a road. So what the R-Link does, it routes you to the nearest road. In this case, the nearest road was on the other side of the building. So I had to make a turnaround, one-way traffic, the usual swearing occurred. So yeah, anyway, that was only for 5-6 minutes, just in case. It's not that I was running low, but I wanted to see whether or not this one would actually work and how easy it was to get to it. Not easy, as you can probably tell by the picture. I had to do some creative parking when I actually got there. So when I actually got there, the charger isn't marked or anything like that it's a charger, so it was completely blocked. And this was today's a Wednesday, so if you're there on a busy, say, I don't know, a Saturday or something along that line, it would be pretty damn packed. Anyway, our next stop is Grange in County Sligo for a quick top up in order to get to the next fast charger, and the next fast charger is in County Donegal. So I guess I'll see you guys on the road. Now, Grange, County Sligo. Dual charger setup. We have a 22 kilowatt AC on that side and a single CHAdeMO on that side. I really wish ESB would upgrade those to triple standards, but I suppose that'll happen in a while. Give it time. Have to be patient. We're really fortunate with the weather, actually. So far so good. I had to ask ESB to restart that charger. It didn't want to work initially, but that was easily fixed. And it is now happily charging away. We're only staying here for about 10-15 minutes to move on to the next actual fast charger. But so far so good. Now, welcome to Redcastle, County Donegal. Isn't it beautiful? Right, as you guys saw yesterday, pretty much a trouble-free journey. We had, let's see now, we did about 450 kilometres. We had no real issues except for the bit of Grange that you saw. We did one additional charge that I didn't really film in Londonderry. Perfectly fine, no problems. The charger before that, and I think it was pronounced Lackey, or I'm probably completely mispronouncing this. It had the weirdest setup for a charger I've ever seen. You basically had to reverse in beside it, and then the actual leads would go in the front of it. It was probably the weirdest setup I've ever seen. It also worked, but it did have a problem with Zoe and a hot battery. That particular model has that. Regular viewers might have seen it. But yeah, we charged up to 88% in Londonderry. Drove down here. I had about 60% left when I got here. It's only about 25 kilometres. So we're going to explore the Inishowen Peninsula today. And the weather is absolutely stunning. Couldn't have asked for anything better, to be honest, for a mid-October weekend. Well, week actually. It's Thursday, so. So yeah, the next stop I think next thing we're gonna try and see is Malin, which is about 50 kilometres away from here, and then probably explore the rest of the peninsula. So let's see you guys along the way. Bye now. Hello, from Castle Bellingham Services, southbound, on another glorious. What day are we at? Friday, yes. Friday afternoon. We've just been driving back from Redcastle in Donegal. Didn't film much, but here's basically a synopsis of what happened. Not a lot, really. First charge of the day was in Londonderry, the same one as we did on the way up. Second charge and lunch was at a roadside cafe, and the name kind of escapes me. It was along the A6 anyway. I'll put it up on the screen there. The third charge that we did was at a shopping centre in Dungannon. I think it was the Oak Shopping Centre, something along that line. And then now, Castle Bellingham southbound. I really wish they'd get rid of these CHAdeMO only chargers and just replace them with proper multi-standards. It will make life a little faster for the rest of us. Anyway, all chargers are behaving as expected. I was able to maintain a good average speed all the ways down, and we're on the way to our hotel in Tala in South Dublin. And yeah, that's it really. I think after this one we're going to be going straight down to the hotel. There's a shopping centre down the road from the hotel that has 2 chargers, so that should take care of my charging needs. Nothing else new really. The weather's been great, as I previously mentioned. We've been really lucky. Blazing sunshine most of the time. Very cold at night. Well, what do you expect? It's, late October, so what do you expect? I think it's about 3 or 4 degrees at night and about 14, 15 during the day, so we can't really complain. So I shan't. Other than that, last night one of a subscriber to my videos pointed me to a Android app, which is basically a clone, or it's meant to be a clone of LeafSpy. In my previous episode I mentioned the fact that Nissan owners have LeafSpy, which is a third-party app to check on battery stats and all that kind of stuff. And us Renault owners are not as fortunate, but of course, thanks to some intrepid developers and EV enthusiasts, there now is a equivalent app for the Renaults. It's currently still being developed. I'm meeting up with a friend on Monday who has a Nissan Leaf and I think it's called an ODB2 adapter, and I'm going to take his adapter and have a look and see what the actual application offers. But the website looks really interesting. I'll put it in the description of this video. So hopefully you can expect a bit of coverage either later on in this episode or the next one. And I'll take it through its paces, and I'm really looking forward to it. But other than that, absolutely no news whatsoever, which is exactly the way I like it. Car has been behaving perfectly. I have done a grand total of 766 kilometers since leaving home, 120 kilowatt hour used. Been doing a lot of driving. Have not been holding back. My average speed has been around 60 kilometers an hour so far, and most of that is because I got delayed in going through Armagh on the way back down. But I've been pretty much putting my foot down the whole way down, and Yeah, if in fact if this particular charge point was a 43 kilowatt AC, I would have been on my way already. But sadly it isn't. We've been here half an hour now. We're at 76%. I was at 29% when I arrived. So I think I'll give it another 15 minutes or so, and I should have enough to get to our hotel. Right, I'll probably see you guys there. Bye now. Now, good morning. We are back home. This is the total amount of distance that we've driven so far. Since Wednesday, it is now Monday. 1,184 kilometers driven. Now, hello. Basically, we came home yesterday. I didn't do much filming, or I didn't do any filming yesterday. The last thing that I filmed was Castle Bellingham, I think, just outside of Dublin. We spent 2 nights in Dublin, did a bit of driving around the place. I charged up at the shopping centre across the way from our hotel, which was no problem. Did a bit of driving around Dublin, went to the cinema at Dundrum Town Centre. They also had a charger, so I charged up there. Then we drove back yesterday, relatively uneventful. First stop was Portlaoise, and that charger has always been giving me trouble. Now, you've seen it earlier in this particular episode. I think they pronounce it FSEC. The triple standard chargers anyway in this country. There appears to be an old batch, the ones that were first installed, and they seem to have a problem with a Renault Zoe and a hot battery. Now, a hot battery, what basically happens is that when you plug in, the charge starts for about a second, it stops, or pauses I should say. The fans, front and back, or just the back one, but predominantly the back one, starts up to draw air over the battery to cool it down, and then the charge resumes. The older batch has an issue with this particular process. What it seems to be doing is that as soon as the car wants to pause the charge, the charger seems to think that it's disconnected and ends the process. It just stops. It stops normally. I get the normal end of charge notification. It doesn't give an error, it doesn't do anything else, it just stops the charge. So when the car actually wants to restart the charge, the charger is gone according to the car, and the car just ends the process normally. The newer batch, the ones that, as an example on this journey, was junction 3 on the M7, which I've used before, and a brand new triple standard charger in Cashel. I was basically in Portlaoise. It started charging perfectly fine. Then at 66% it decided to start up the back fans, and it ended the charge. I had enough to get to junction 3, so I went down to junction 3. Same car, same hot battery, same everything else. It worked perfectly fine. Then drove on from junction 3 on the M7 to Cashel at 110 kilometers an hour cruise control. So not a slouch, not to save battery, not to make sure that the temperature didn't go up anymore, and Cashel had absolutely no problems. So this basically leads me to my fundamental complaint. So if anybody from ESB is watching, please fix this. I've emailed you twice about the exact same situation. I'm going to email you again. This is a specific issue that affects, to my knowledge, the chargers in Fermoy, Macroom, Rochestown, the one up in Donegal, Langy, whatever like that, and possibly others of the first batch that were installed. The chargers in Roscrea, Junction 3, Cashel, Dublin Airport, they're all of a second batch. They're all perfectly fine. So whatever the difference is between the two, sort it. Okay, end of rant. Other than that, everything went smoothly. So it's nearly 1,200 kilometers. Didn't cost me anything. Had a great weekend. We stayed over in the Redcastle Hotel in Donegal. Absolutely stunning surroundings, really, really nice. And we stayed over in the Maldron in Tala. And again, really nice hotel. Lovely location, very centrally. Lewis right across the way. Shopping centres placed around. It has a leisure centre. It has all sorts of things. It was great. So that is the end of this particular episode. I know, it was a little bit badly filmed, but hey, that's just the breaks. My wife was kind of in the car, and she doesn't really like me spending too much time on these filming things, so I tend to sort of film when she isn't around. So anyway, that's it, and we shall see you guys in the next episode. I might film a bit this evening with the what's it called, CanZE application, but I think I'll see if I can actually get hold of the adapter and do a bit more testing myself. So thanks for watching, folks. Bye now. Now, one of the things I noticed is that since I've actually had the car for a year now, certain things seems to be going to expire. Now, I have the expiration of a subscription, which is my ZE Interactive. Now, I was convinced that that was going to be a 3-year thing rather than a 1-year thing. So let's see what happens if I hit extend. Because that actually, you're kidding me, €90. Okay, now this actually, you can start and stop a charging when it plugged into the charging station. I can schedule charging times. I can remote control. This actually is very, very useful, but why the hell is it going to cost me €90? I thought this was included with the actual car for 3 years. Looks like I am going to have to email Renault about this, because yeah, this is not normal.